Okay, so hello, my name is Ostap Skripnik, and thank you for joining us this afternoon for the virtual book launch of a very interesting book by Patrick Adamenko, whose nom de guerre is Patrick. And Patrick is joining us now from Ireland, where he'll be talking about his book, The Heroes of Modernity, which is a bilingual version of a book that he had published earlier. It deals with his reminiscences, his observations, his thoughts about the war that had gone on in Ukraine up until the larger conflict, which started about 6 weeks ago. It goes through the many different aspects of his war experiences. He talks about a lot of the people that he met, the people that he served with, etc. Patrick today lives in Ireland, as I had mentioned, but earlier he had immigrated to different countries, including Argentina, and has an interesting story to tell us, of course. So we'll get right into his presentation. And after that, there'll be time for questions. So, Сергій Адаменко, вітаємо вас до презентації вашої книжки. We're glad that you were able to meet with us. As most of you people know, this presentation was supposed to have taken place earlier, but said he couldn't make it because he had gone to Ukraine to see what was happening there firsthand, and he's returned back now to Ireland with some observations. So, Serhii, again, welcome to our presentation. Please, будь ласка.
Thank you very much for inviting me. First of all, I wish to apologize for canceling my previous presentation, which should be launched months ago, but it was sudden decision. I got an offer in Thursday evening and Saturday morning when the presentation should be. I left to Ukraine with two buses, two vans, I would say, with the humanitarian aid. So we brought that aid through whole Europe to Lviv. And then I brought a part of that humanitarian aid to Kyiv for my friends who now in territorial defense in Kyiv. So my apologies but I couldn't refuse that offer because it was okay. They needed a driver to bring that humanitarian stuff to Ukraine. So anyway, now I am back, and I spoke with my friends in Kyiv, and I'm trying now from here to support them financially, sending them. I'm trying to gather money to buy body armors and rest of stuff that they need. Meanwhile, I'm continuing presenting my book. I'm trying to distribute this book in Ireland, as you mentioned, it's bilingual, written in two languages. So people in Ireland are very, very supportive. They're very interested in helping us. So Ireland, among one of the first countries, they started taking Ukrainians into this country, giving them support, shelter, etc., etc. So I wish to my book, this book will help them to understand that war didn't start recently in February. It started 8 years ago, and I think it's very important to them to see who is fighting against Russian aggression. This in 2 words. do you need my something else about my biography or whatever I had? I don't know. You just
Oh
asked
no,
me.
I think people will be interested in, say, perhaps from what part of Ukraine you come and what background you had before you left Ukraine, and what motivated you to return to Ukraine during the war.
Okay, I was born in Donbass, in the eastern part of Ukraine, which actually was occupied by Russians since 2014, unfortunately. My relatives mostly are living there in occupied territory. Some of them, they fled before the war started, but majority of them are living there, and I know what kind of living it is over there. In 1997, we moved to Argentina. I moved there with my wife and 2 kids, and we spent 5 years in Argentina. There I was studying in I don't know how it's called. It's a theological college in Winnipeg, I think. I was trying to be a priest, so I spent 2 years kind of online studies, and then in 2002 we moved to Ireland, and I started studying here. I had my own business. Now I work as bus driver in the company which makes international transport in Ireland and in the UK. In 2000, since the war began in 2014, all our community started helping our army. We did a lot of events. We did fundraising. We were sending humanitarian aid. We were very active during all these 8 years. In 2017, my family circumstances allowed me to go there. So I joined in November. I joined the voluntary unit called Right Sector. It's Pravy Sector. They were based in Avdiivka in the Donetsk region. So I spent there 3 months till the end of February. I was with those people in trenches at the front line. When I came back to Ireland, I started. Okay, there were no intention to write a book. I was just started writing short essays in the Facebook describing every people I met there. It was the different people. The first book, this one, there are just 25 people I met over there, but with some of them I was just few hours, but with some of them I spent weeks and even months together. So every essay I was publishing in Facebook. It's like my view about this person. I didn't want to make them like heroes, but it's my view from the side, from people who left their home and went to fight. This was my, like, I would say, kind of, I wish to bring the attention of readers about these people, because these people, they were fighting there without salary, without social protection, without nothing. So they were not recognized by government. They were just fighting for themselves. They went because they heard call them to defend their land. So in first, so I wrote stories, short stories about 25 people from different strata. They were, I would say, from 20 to 60 years. They were from different regions of Ukraine, from east, from Crimea, from Lviv, central Ukraine, from almost from every region of Ukraine. There were different nationalities. There were Russians, Belarusians, Ukrainians, Crimean Tatars. They all different. Political view also different. But only one thing had united them together. It's love to our homeland, our Ukraine. And when I finished publishing these stories, I've been offered to publish a small book. As it was, as I never printed books. I didn't know how to do this, but I found out that a friend of mine, she opened a publishing house, and I asked her if she could help me. So she offered me help, and she did this first book. It is written in Ukrainian only. There are many pictures, but they are mostly black and white pictures. It's actually not too much to read, but it was like my paying tribute or whatever to those people, just to make them something, because they were not getting anything from the government. It was so important for me to give them something, like it, just compensate them their efforts. Mm-hmm. When that book was printed, I did few presentations here in the UK, in Austria, where a few presentations in Ukraine. When I was making presentation in Leeds in the UK, the local Ukrainians, but the old immigration, not the new one, the old immigration, they were asking me why this book is not printed in English, just to let people, local people, know about this war. And I started working on new book. So I added another 10 stories about people who were not included in the first book, but in first book they are just ordinary fighters. But in this book, I included people, very well known, whom I met in Ukraine. There are three people, heroes. The one deputy of our government, I would say. There is a very famous journalist. There is hero. He scout. He lost his leg in some special operation. They were bit. Okay, they are famous. So I added 10 new stories in that book. We translated it into English. So now we have this book printed in English and Ukrainian, and there are a lot of pictures. And I insisted that pictures should be colored, not black and white, just to bring the attention. the book, okay, I like it. It's a very good quality for me. And I brought this book to Ireland. It started actually I am bringing this book to our events we are making in front of Irish Parliament, or even Russian embassy, and I'm distributing this book for local people, because for me it's very important. You can listen some news and forget about this in few days, but book is forever. You can have it on your shelf, on your table, and you will be always able to get it, to read it, and find out what it's about. And between these two books, I started writing another book, which actually is far away from war. It's about more philosophical book about love, about views of God, way to God, way to eternity, reincarnation, some kind of this stuff. It's called Polit Metellica, the fly of butterfly. When I finished with this book, I realized that it should be continuation of that, and I wrote another book. It's called now like this Pogled Ворона. I don't know, it's Sign of Crow. Yeah, one part I have it here in Ireland, and there will be a third book I started writing, but for the moment the war started, and I'm mostly concerned on helping our soldiers, our fighters. But it will be printed definitely, because it should be completed. It will be like a trilogy. So it's small introduction, I would say. If you have questions, we can go ahead.
I think I have a couple of questions. Okay, so I understand that you wanted to tell the story of these people that you had encountered, right?
Yeah.
Is there something that connects all of them, or are they all unique?
Okay. Everyone is unique, because even I was thinking about take every one person from them, you can read a book about it, because for example, just show you, it's my first hero called Champion. He is disabled guy. He's having problem with his legs. He cannot walk normally as healthy people, but he is there. He's helping. He's not fighting in the trenches, but he's helping as much as he can on the base. And for me, he is a hero, because I know a lot of healthy men. Even now, they fled Ukraine because they are acting cowardly. They acting as I even don't want to say these words, but even about him, I can read a separate book. When you touch every person, you can. When I was writing the continuation, it was always updating, because people were living their daily life. They were having families, babies. One of them, she became a deputy of Kiev Council. They're changing, and that if you take separate one, I can say a lot of it. For me, they are all unique, but what is united for them, for all, even they are not always agree to each other, you know, but they all united for one thing, is for love of our country.
What's the time period that you were writing most of these let's, for lack of a better word, stories about them? Was this all in the last couple of years, or has this been through for the last 5 or 6 years?
Okay, the first book, I came back in March 2018, in the end of March. So I started writing these stories in April, as I have still have all these my emotion and memories in my head. So I finished with the stories for first book in 1 month. It was done, and after that I left it for a while. I didn't want to. I even didn't expect that this story will be gathered together in the there will be book printed with these stories. The time it's actually taken place editing, just making book. It took around a year to be printed, that book. So in next year, in 2019, in March, the book was printed. And after that, when I started distributing this book, making presentation, okay, I started writing more stories, and at the same time I started making translation on this story. So that book, bilingual, it was printed last year, a year ago. So approximately, don't remember.
One of the, one of the very interesting things about the book is the photographs. Because as you take the book, there's a photograph on one page, and beside the page there is a sometimes shorter, sometimes longer, again, story about that person. And as one naturally takes the book, one flips through it and looks at the pictures first, correct? And I have to say that you look at the pictures and they're very profound. The photographs of each of these soldiers or helpers, as in the case of Champion, is you get a big message just from the visual picture of the person. You seem to know what they're going through to a degree. Who took the photographs, first of all, and how did you decide which photograph would best show the person and show the story that you were trying to tell about that person?
Okay, it was a big job. It was a big job to decide which picture should be used, because I have a plenty of these plenty of the pictures. I was working hard to find which photograph it could be used for each hero. We had a professional photographer over there. I cannot tell. Okay, it's actually a girl. I cannot tell her name because she didn't allow me to mention her name because he is not from Ukraine. Just 1 second, it's getting darker. I
yes.
will yeah. Hold on.
Say that we can. The sun is setting in Ireland. There we are. Thank you very much, Sergey.
Because when I started, it was a bit sunny. Now it's getting darker. Yes. So she was making a professional pictures, and as you can see, some of them they're very good quality, and the rest of them was made. Okay, I did them. Some pictures I did myself, and the rest of pictures I was trying to find on on the Facebook, on other sources, because some people, speaking honestly, I even until now I even don't know their real names, so they're not showing their personal life. So I did some pictures are not very good. The quality is not very good, but I was trying to get the best ones, and
well, I have to say, Sergey, that I think that that you succeeded in putting across their personalities or their moods at that time when they were being photographed. The pictures are wonderful, and that, I mean, the portraits, you know, are very good. I should also mention that each subject or each a story gives not their real names, but their nom de guerre, their call sign, their sort of the name they use as a nickname within the unit. And I think that also adds very much to the I would say the deepness of the work, because you read the story, but you're reading about this person and he has this name which is very much connected with the war, right? It's not his name in civilian life. It's not his name that his mother calls him, as it were. It's just his name that is, or her name, actually, because there's women here, of course, that are associated with the war and in that place that they are, in their place that they're serving. And it's a very timely, and I sort of think almost, and if you allow me to philosophize here, sort of a immortal type of thing, right? Because it's a name that's specifically with that particular moment in their lives. So it's a very effective way of doing it. And even the book itself, the title or the author is given as Patrick, not as Patrick Adamenko. So it's the same idea of it's capturing a moment in history, as it were. Sorry for going on about that, but I found that to be a very useful and powerful technique.
Yeah, we actually at the front line there are no real names. We know some people they're using their real names, but a very few. Most of them they're covering their private life and even their names. I published that book. Few of them I even don't know their real names. I don't know where they came from. So I never ask, because when you ask in there about people, it looks like very suspicious, you know. Mm-hmm. So I never ask people about their real names, where they came from. For me, it's actually interesting why there is one foreigner fighter. He is from, I don't know where he's from. I think he is from France, but I think he's from France, because his mother language is French, but he was speaking English as well. It's okay. He learned Russian as well. Good enough, because I am defending our language very hard, but I can admit that I would say half of fighters at the front line, they're using Russian language as main language. And when I was writing this book, he loved Ukraine. He came to live. He didn't come to Ukraine just to fight. He come because he loved Ukraine, and he used to fight at the front. And then he got married with a Ukrainian girl. They had a baby, and I spoke to him just maybe a couple of weeks ago. He had another one, so actually he settled very well in Ukraine, and he will never come back home because at home now he has problem with the police, because you know some countries, they are not allowing their citizens to go to fight as mercenaries, but he's not mercenary. He just came to fight to protect our country from Russian aggression. So when I came there, okay, I didn't know anyone, and you had to fill up the form, put your name, put your details and contact number for someone who can take care about you if you will be killed at the front line, just to any contacts. And they said, okay, you had to choose, put your code name, nickname, I would say. Okay, I came from Ireland. Who is most famous person in Ireland? Patrick. Okay, I will be Patrick. So since then, I am Patrick.
So that's an interesting question, actually, that I've never known the answer. These nicknames or call signs, you choose them yourself, or are they given to you by your comrades?
No. In my case, I have chosen myself. But some comrades, some friends, they are given this name, but the friend, which actually, from their point of view, it describes better that person, instead of just making a nickname for himself like this.
I don't know if you would care to do so, but could you read one of the stories to us, or one of the short ones that you think is that would illustrate how the flavor and the nature of the book?
Yes. Actually, it's a bit sad story. If you see this man, it's like this. This man, he's retired, but he was at the front line as a driver of our paramedic car. He was very very inventive. He was all the time. He was doing something. He was very intelligent. He even retired. He was so much energy. Even young man hasn't. And when he left, he had a problem with the heart. He has a heart operation, and he left at home in Nova Kakhovka. It's in the Kherson region. And I spoke to him when the Russians came. They occupied his town very quickly. And I heard sad news that a few days ago, he has been taken by Russians into prison. Actually, it's someone of our collaborators, I would say. he set him up. He showed Russians that he was involved in right sector, and they came and he took him by force. And I don't know where he is now, and I don't know if he's still alive or not. And his son was also taken with him. Unfortunately, I even don't know how can I help him. So it's only on. Okay, it's about that man I wanted to mention this sad story, and which story I wish to say. It's bits not like funny, but just where that. It's just short story, but it's very interesting for me. It's short one. I can read if you don't mind. Yeah.
Yes, please. I think people would be interested to get a flavor of the book.
Okay, friends. I thought for a long time whether to write the following chapter or not, but finally I decided to go ahead. My series of publications about the people I met at the right sector is nearly over. In the very beginning, before I had even published the original text in Ukrainian, I was posting chapter by chapter on Facebook. The people who inspired these essays patiently waited for more chapters to come out. They talked to each other, waited for their turn, and commented their thoughts and opinions. I really felt that both readers and characters of the stories appreciated it. But I want to write about something else. At that time, one of my heroes wrote me privately. He wrote me privately. He thanked me and asked not to disclose his name. I asked why, and he replied that he didn't want his mother to know of his involvement at the battlefield. You see, he had told her that he would stay in a military training ground. That was a lie, but one with the good intentions, because he didn't want to worry his mother. Honestly, it froze me for some time. A man around my age goes to fight in the East without receiving a salary, risking his life, and at the same time hides it from his mother to protect her feelings. Okay, my dear friend, I'm sorry I didn't ask you before I wrote it, but I'm really proud to meet you. God bless you and return home to your family safe and sound. I show you who is actually, because actually for me it was, I do understand if the guy, young guy, 18, 20 years ago, goes to fight and trying to hide this from his parent, but he's almost my age and was acting as a small guy because he didn't want to to make his mom sad. This one is Christian, but the most interesting thing is that his daughter is serving in United States Army. He is in the Marine, I think, or somewhere. His daughter is serving in military service in the United States. And also I wish to say something about this. He is a scout, very experienced fighter. And if you remember that tragic story with Malaysian Boeing MH17, which been shot down by Russians in 2014. There were around 300 people dead, and he was involved in that special operation, military operation. They were bringing the key witness from occupied territories into Ukraine, and they were going through the land full of mines, and he lost his leg over there. One of his comrades, I would say, lost his life over there, but he lost his leg. He's very, for me, I knew him for a few days, and I met him few times after on my presentations last year in August in Kiev. Very, very intelligent, very, very brave man. I speak honestly, I'm proud I know him personally. And this as well, Crimean Tatar from Crimea, only one person who was in Ireland. Very, very intelligent, very intelligent. He was even working as a professor in the university. So when you read these characters, you will see that as Russian propaganda trying to show fighters of right sector as, you know, murderers, rapers, as killers. When you read this book and you see that people, they're far away from these personalities which actually Russian propaganda is trying to describe them, they're very intelligent, very kind, very brave, and they love Ukraine most.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Serhii, if you have nothing against this, I don't see the chat or the or how many or people here, but if Austin would help us, if we can open up some questions to the people who are listening in.
Yeah,
okay?
Why not? Yeah.
Yes. So Austin?
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask any questions, feel free to just pose them in the Q&A section, and we can just go on from there.
Okay. There we are. So again, they'll show up in the chat. Hey, Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
I see chat, yeah.
I'm doing this, Austin, on my phone, so you'll have to moderate the chat if you could, because I don't really see it all that well. There you are. Okay, so I see the chat. No one is coming forward. So I have some other questions. Now, you were recently, Serhii, in Ukraine delivering humanitarian aid, and maybe people I think would be interested to maybe hear some of your observations about that particular part of your life.
Okay. It was very, very sad to see Ukrainian refugees at the border, at Polish border, because we were crossing border from Poland to Ukraine. I would say now we see who is our friend, because Poland is doing a lot for our refugees. They're taking them they are trying to give them shelter, food, everything. The transport is for free for Ukrainians. But when I was approaching, I saw that there were Polish people and Polish army were taking care about our refugees. But when I went into Ukrainian part and saw that hundreds of meters, the queues, even more. It was very, very cold at that time. It was beginning of March, very cold. And the mostly women with kids, even small, 2-3 months old kids, covered with duvet. I couldn't even believe that it's happening in my country. I couldn't believe that this is happening in the middle of Europe in 21st century. So it didn't give me any good emotions, I would say. I was very frustrated seeing this. And the people just carrying, okay, whatever they can, because some people, they fled, they even didn't have a time to take some stuff. They took their documents and they went. And some of them, they were bringing their pets, cats or dogs. When I went to Lviv, I stayed in Lviv a couple of days. Yeah, it's a lot of people came to Lviv. A lot of block posts. You cannot move. It's not like that time in Ukraine when you go there just to have fun. You can make pictures everywhere. Now, I was there more than a week. I didn't make any picture, because you are not allowed. Because if you making pictures, you can be asked and put into investigation. And then we took that. Also, when sleeping at night, it's not like here. At any moment, it could be missile attack or whatever. Siren is going on. It's terrible. And we went to then we went to Kiev. It was a long journey. A lot of blog posts, different people, but finally we arrived to Kiev. It's not that Kiev I met in August last year. Not many people, a lot of blog posts, not many transport. So in that time, it was still okay, but after that, Kiev received few hits by rockets, and now it's not like it was before. But in comparison with I would say Kharkiv, Chernihiv, Mariupol, we actually these cities do not exist anymore. It's we have to admit this, and the war is still going on. It's I don't see an end of this war. I know that victory will be ours, but what I saw, this war had united all Ukrainian people. No one Russian did a lot as Putin did, because now the unity, people even who were ignoring the fact that war is going on since 2014, now they are realize that war came into their home. Now the level of unity, the willingness to defeat this aggressor is so high, and I'm proud of our people. for me, they all heroes, apart of some of individuals who left Ukraine in the first couple of days when the war began.
There's a question in the chat from Valery, and he wants to know if you're planning to go back to Ukraine to deliver more humanitarian aid.
Yes, I was planning to go this month. We are sending a lot of humanitarian aid from Ireland. I was planning to go this month because there are a few men, more than 10 men are fighting from Ireland, Ukrainians. They went to Ukraine and they are fighting with the International Legion over there. So I was willing to bring them a car with the humanitarian aid. But for the moment, all cars, they went on a truck to Polish border, and we are sending the humanitarian aid every week. But I'm willing to go, but I spent my holidays last time, so I have to sort it out with my employer to go next time. So this is a little bit complicated. And we've got a few days ago, we got a sad story. One of our fighters lost his life, and okay, we fundraised some money to help his family with his funeral. It was I didn't know him personally, but I saw this news in the Irish newspaper.
Very sad that this happens, but that's the nature of this conflict. I don't see any more other than Valery's.
One thing I want to mention this guy, journalist. At that time, he was a I would say he was work with the media, social media, and mass media. He was working for right sector, and meantime he was started to making movie about war. It called, and finally he did. It's a movie called the Way of Generations, and I spoke to him yesterday, and he said, if somebody this movie has in English subtitles, and he asked me if some of you will be interested to show this movie in Canada. He will be very happy, because that movie, it's The Way of Generation. He started from, I think, from Ukrainian army in Second World War, and finishing in nowadays. And there, in place of actors, the real heroes from the battlefield, they act in there. So it's very, for me, it's very interesting movie. So if you will be interested in distributing this show into local people, it will be, I think, very beneficial for us.
Okay, send us the, send to us at Eduk or to anyone here the information, and I'm sure they'll follow up on that.
I will contact you with him. It would be better for
excellent. Yeah. Excellent suggestion. Not seeing any more questions in the chat. Sadhi, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us about your book. The book and the other books that you had mentioned are available at Oseredok here in Winnipeg, at the boutique for sale. There's several copies left, so anyone interested can purchase them. The one that I'm most familiar with, the Heroes about the Heroes of Modernity, is an extremely interesting book, and it's as you said earlier, you should be proud of it. It's a very good quality production, and the stories themselves are quite moving. So again, I'd like to thank you for your time and for doing this work that you do on these books, and invite everybody to let their friends know about the YouTube channel of Osaradok, where this presentation will be put up in a short time, and people can watch it at their leisure. So thank you very much. Austin, if you have nothing to add, then you can probably end the meeting.
Yeah, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much, Patrick and Ostap, for helping us out with this. And it was a very, very informative talk, and it was just, thank you so much for this. And with that, I'll be ending the meeting.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Героям слава.
Bye.